Hey Scrappers, it's Vanessa, and today I am going to put a layout together, and I am actually filming this on the first day of February, so I'm a little behind. I wanted to create at least 2 layouts with my January sort of color scheme. I have another one that I did create with this, but it won't go up until later in February, which is for a hop. So I thought I would try to put one more layout together before I move to my February color scheme. And I was away this month and ended up getting sick, so I am finally getting around to a layout, and I thought I would show you really quick the color scheme again. So this is what I chose for the month of January, and I am definitely focusing on these colors that are in this mood board for this layout. I am also playing along with load for the month of February, and so I'm probably, since it's the first day of February, going to use this layout for my first layout for load. So I will have the video up and hopefully edited this week, so you'll see it. And this is what I chose. So again, this is the color scheme. I'll leave it off to the side so you can kind of see it. And first, here are some of the pattern papers, or I should say all of the pattern papers. I'll move these up. So these are all the pattern papers. I have a little strip of 6x6 that are these tickets. I have just a piece of pattern paper. I believe this might have been a Felicity Jane. These are mostly scraps, and then I have 2 full 12x12s. I have this piece of text paper, which is from a Project Life collection. I have a wood grain. This was from Cartabella. I believe this is like the Wildflower collection. I also have this paper here. This is going to be the main part of my background, and this is Heidi Swap Dreamy, and I am definitely using it for this color with the circles in the background. This is the back side, which I am not going to use. And then I just have a piece of cardstock that will act as the frame for my layout. So as you can see, I'm definitely pulling in a lot of the colors from my mood board. I'm definitely keeping with the color theme of this January color board. And then for some embellishments and thickers, we'll do the letters first. I have this thicker set called Happy, which is one of my absolute favorites. I have the Daily Flash with both the little and big alphas, and then I have a Hip Kit alphabet, which was from a past Hip Kit. I don't remember which one, but it's definitely pulls toward this sort of I don't even know what color. It's like a dark coral, maybe you could say. It's not really pink. And then from here I have some sequins, and these are really large sequins. I don't typically use these large sequins, but I pulled them out for this. I believe this was an old Heidi Swap collection that came with this, and then it has these tiny white flowers as well. So I'm going to try to get some of these used on my layout. I'm thinking I'm going to do a shaker, so these bigger sequins will work perfectly for that. I have these Dear Lizzy puffy stickers, or not puffy, epoxy stickers, and obviously not all the colors will work, but I have the darker sort of teal color, and then actually these sort of almost limey color, greeny yellow. I don't really know the color, maybe chartreuse, is that what they call it? These actually pull this color here in from this picture, and so I actually could get away with using some of those on the page as well. So I might try to get a few of these put on as well. I have, let's see, lots of die cuts. These I fussy cut, these florals, which was from an old Dear Lizzy polka dot party, I think was the collection. but I have fussy cut all of these florals that I want to use at least some of on this layout. I have just some other little bits and pieces, some chipboard. I have a camera, I believe that was from a Chamel piece of pattern paper. Just some vellum pieces, some labels. I have some heart puffy stickers. Again, just some other ephemera pieces that all work with the colors, and so I'm going to try to get those on my page. Just lots of layering pieces. And then, like I said, and if you've watched the videos earlier this month, I did say that I wanted to try this year to not only do more mixed media on my pages, but to also use my cut files. And so this is a cut file from the Creative Cuts Club that I'm a part of. And this is what I said I was going to try to create a shaker pocket. And so that is what I'm going to do. So this is obviously going to take up a huge sort of bit of, or huge amount of my page, and so it's definitely going to be the statement piece. So we'll see how much of the other embellishments that I use, because this is going to be quite a statement on the page. I am going to use, instead of clear acetate or something for the window of my shaker, I am going to use vellum. So you'll see when I do my shaker, I'm going to put these sequins underneath. So these will kind of just be a hint. You'll be able to see them, but they won't be sort of super visible through this. It's going to kind of put that film over the top, and then I will back my whole shaker with this piece of white cardstock. And these are the little adhesive strips that I use to build my shaker. I get these from Amazon, and they're just foam strips, and this is what I'm going to use. I have ones that are even thinner than this, but this is quite wide, so I'm going to use my little bit thicker ones for the shaker that I'm going to create. So I'm going to go ahead and speed up the video, and we will put this layout together, and I will walk you through at least part of putting this shaker together. It's pretty straightforward, and there's quite a few people who do them, so I'll give you a quick look at creating the shaker, and we'll put this layout together.
Okay, scrappers, so I actually didn't get this video up as early as I would have hoped, but I am now getting this voiceover done, and like I said, I am going to show you how I created this shaker pocket. Now, the first thing I did was back that cut file with the vellum. I figured you didn't really need to see that part of this shaker pocket. Once I had that completed, I took a couple of those large florals that I had cut from the pattern paper, and I'm going to actually put those inside there. Like you see, they're going to be sort of inside my shaker. So I did glue those down, and now I'm going to take that foam tape that I originally showed earlier in the video, and I'm just going to do the simple part of this shaker and just back all of that cut file. It's really simply, this has a nice wide sort of cut file seam that I can easily use this foam to back the entire cut file. I don't put it in every single little piece. The main part of the cut file that is going to have the sequins is just the top light bulb part of the cut file. So this bottom part, I'm just putting enough around that it will have the stability to be the same height as the rest of the shaker pockets, so that it doesn't get crushed. So it has the same dimension as the top. But I won't be putting sequins down in that very bottom. Like I said, it's just going to be in the top. But you'll see me here kind of just fiddling with all the little pieces. I cut it to just, you know, make the sizes that I need and finish filling in the entire cut file. Once I get all the pieces in here, I am going to go ahead and take those sequins that I showed at the beginning, and I am going to fill the shaker with all of those sequins. This is a great way if you have a lot of sequins, and especially if you're like me and you don't necessarily use these larger ones. all that often on your pages to sort of sprinkle, this is a great way to use them, because in a shaker pocket you can put, especially one that's as large as this, you can use these larger sequins and it takes up a lot of space and it really comes through really nicely. So I was able to use up quite a few of these larger size sequins in this shaker pocket, and I really absolutely love how it came together. So there you see I have put all those sequins in, and now I'm doing the tedious task of taking off all these little bits off the backer for those strips. I don't know if I showed on camera, but even after I put the backer, the white cardstock down on this, I do off camera, I think, add a little bit of glue just to ensure that the shaker doesn't come apart. I will be obviously gluing it all sort of on the layout, but I do, when I finish sort of backing this, I believe off camera, I do add a little bit of liquid glue just to ensure that it doesn't lift off of that white cardstock down the road. There you see I have cut around that white cardstock. My shaker is complete, and now it is time to build this layout. I am going to start with my photo here, which is of my daughter, and she's wearing these cute little, they're actually not real glasses, they're like the fake ones that the kids used to wear. I don't know if that's still something in style that a lot of kids are doing anymore, but for a while, you know, she thought it was fun to wear these glasses, even though she doesn't need glasses. But these ones were pretty cute, and so I took this cute little picture of her one day when we were in the car. And that is what I'm scrapping today. So the title of this one is going to be My Little Smarty Pants, because, you know, she's got the glasses on and the light bulb, so she's pretty cute in this photo. And here you see how I am going to start putting this layout together. Like I said, that larger 12 by 12 is going to act as my background. That is going to go on top of that green cardstock. And I am now going to build the rest of the clusters for this layout. That light bulb takes up a good portion of the layout, and I'm going to basically build my clusters for this whole layout around that light bulb. So that is really going to take center stage, and not a lot of it gets covered up, but quite a bit of it gets covered up, but yet it still has the impact with those sequins peeking through in the background. I really absolutely kind of love how this layout came together. It's one of my favorites. I love this combination of these pinks and these teal colors together. Probably one of my favorite combinations to scrapbook with, and so I really do love how this came together. And I love florals, so all of these fussy cut florals from that pattern paper just are perfect. I absolutely adore them. And so I am liking how this has come together. So I did off camera, went ahead and glued everything down, and I kind of shook the little shaker so you can see that everything does move inside that shaker. And so it's kind of a fun little touch. Here is where I am going to put that title that says My Little Smarty Pants. And I start the title at the top with the top cluster, and then I move the rest of it using these sort of salmon colored letter stickers from the hip kit. I use those, and they will finish the title that will go around my photo. So I start with Smarty at the top of the photo, and then Pants is going to go down here at the bottom of the photo. And it really kind of just helps pull the entire layout together with that title that kind of flows throughout the clusters from the top to the bottom. And I am just going to add the finishing touches for the layout, which were those puffy stickers, and now I have those epoxy stickers from that Dear Lizzie set that I had showed. And these are super old epoxy stickers, and so the glue on the back of them doesn't really stick anymore, so I'm just taking some liquid glue and adding some extra adhesive to the back of those, because I knew you could just tell when you put them down they weren't going to stick. So I did end up pulling in that chartreuse kind of greeny color that's in those flowers and the epoxy stickers, and I really love that sort of pop that it gives. But with that, guys, this is pretty much how the layout's going to come together. I am going to have still photos at the end. I'm going to kind of play here a few more minutes and stick as many more of these sort of epoxy stickers as I can on this layout. I am really sort of trying to get some of my older items in my stash used up, and the colors of this layout and the way it came together really allowed me to use a lot of these bits and pieces that I kind of just had pulled out for this layout. I used pretty much everything that I pulled. The last item that I'm going to put on this layout are those little flower sequins that I showed at the beginning, and I think they are so cute. They were kind of hard to glue down because they have an indent in them, but I eventually got them to stick. And with that, here are the still photos, guys, and I will catch you on the next one. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.